Hello beautiful creators of a new reality, it's Hazel here and I'm bringing you another video on the healing journey, healing from narcissistic abuse. Today I'm going to be sharing with you some insights and inspiration around rumination, what it is and ways in which to move through that, and also the gold in which you can gather on your own healing journey when you realize that you're in rumination. Another thing I'm going to share about is the power of journaling and how incredibly amazing this is to help move through that rumination. So yeah, I'm out on my walk again today. It gets my body moving and gets my inspiration flowing and gets my healing journey moving within me as well. So wherever you're at on your journey right now, I just want to send you so much love and power to you, because these experiences that come into our life, yes, we are victims of narcissistic abuse. It's because we're amazing, loving, creating beings. And yes, it's really freaking hard. And yes, there is gold in here within these powerful experiences for you to gather so that you can be stronger. And that is why I am sharing my journey with you, to hopefully inspire you to create the better reality for yourself going forward. So let's get on to rumination. Why was I thinking about this? Because I've been thinking about breaking down my journey to share you the most valuable parts to get the gold from. As I always say, there is so much value in getting really knowledgeable from a psychological perspective on the ins and outs of narcissistic abuse. So I highly recommend you do this. And I am here because I encourage you to discover and take your own unique journey and your own unique path, taking responsibility for yourself, your body, your life, and the well-being of your heart, and making that come alive again. So rumination, when you're a loving, creative, amazing person and you don't know what's going on and you are totally sabotaged psychologically from the emotional abuse of the narcissist and the narcissistic abuse that you've been receiving, when you're actually in the breaking point of the relationship, or you're coming out the other side, you can find that your brain goes into overdrive, because you go into your adrenaline system gets triggered, and you go into what is happening, how is this happening, and then all at the same time you've got to deal with all of these practical things about your house, your finances, your body, your everything comes to the surface. Everything ruptures and rumbles and is called for a greater way of seeing. Now, the way that I see rumination that comes up is, where we cannot stop repeating the thoughts that lead us over and over and over and over and over again of, it could be anything, like what they said, why did they do it, how you feel about it, and the insights that you are getting of the truth. Because through the betrayal of your heart, truth cracks open. And herein lies an incredibly powerful thing for you to understand, is that when your heart cracks open, truth cracks open with it. And that is why it's so painful. But through this portal of the pain and the heart cracking open, if you are intelligently navigating through this, you will realize that what your heart is telling you, that is coming out in rumination, like needing to know the answers, what is going on, and what is the truth of this situation. Listen so deeply to your heart. Now, one of the things that I found was that when the truth was cracking open and the betrayal was coming, getting very clear of what was happening, was that it was getting more and more confronting, because I realized that when I started speaking my truth, the environment that I was in, because I was living abroad at the time and I wasn't essentially in my home environment, with my family and my social network, I suppose, was that when the truth was being cracked open, I wasn't being believed. Okay, so this then supported Or, for example, there was a kind of, oh, well, this is his truth, this is your truth. But actually, when you are the victim and your heart is being cracked open and you are starting to see the truth, and then you don't, this is what happened to me, first of all. I didn't know that it was narcissistic abuse. So I started trying to explain what was happening. And then now I realize that was when the smear campaign started gathering force. That was when the flying monkeys started gathering force. That everybody was, because they were from his life mainly, essentially, that was the environment I was living in. Everybody was gravitating towards him and believing in him, because then it became a thing of sides. Now, what I realized through this was that, love has no sides. So first of all, like I've said before, this is one great big powerful smack in the face, is that it evidently was not love, because love does not have sides. Okay, so then this triggers in your system, in my system, the survival mechanism then triggers the brain into needing to find the answers. So and this can be very draining on yourself, on your body, on your mental well-being, and particularly when you're in a situation where you've got friends and family around that just don't believe in you, or they're siding with him. And this is where you realize, wow, I might actually be deeper in my life than I actually realized, because then that becomes a case, and it did with me, that I had to leave everybody, and then I started noticing this truth that of lies, essentially, of illusions, or in many different people in my life. And I've had to leave many, many people. And that is what the healing journey is about. The true healing journey is about really reorientating yourself to go on a greater path of truth for yourself. So when the heart is cracking open and this rumination is happening, and it's over and over and over and over again, and this truth starts emerging, okay, it's like the truth starts emerging from the depths of your being and the core of your soul, because you can start seeing. And this is one of the gifts of this terrible event of narcissistic abuse, is that you can start seeing the truth. Now, this is one of the gifts that you can carry forward with you when you are creating your life, knowing that you are in a deeper resonance and a deeper alignment with your heart. But as you are going through this, you may well have situations or things, or where you saw the lies and you need to tell the truth about it. Now, because I didn't know for 3 months that it was narcissism that I was dealing with, I then started writing all of these letters. So I started writing letters, and some of them I sent and they didn't go down very well. And they actually, and now I know that they say, never to confront the narcissist, or never to confront, essentially, people who are, part of their smear campaign, because they just won't believe you. So I went through this process of, validating my heart through these truths and things that I was starting to see. But I was sharing with them because I was like, well, I've seen this, and I know what it's all about now. Don't you want to know? And they don't want to know. So then eventually you realize, well, if they don't want to know, you have to leave them on their own journey, and you really have to take your own journey. So these ruminations, there are incredible gifts of truth within there. And this is why the journaling process is really important. Now, I started journaling because there was so much moving through me, so much that was cracking open, and there was really very few people left in my life who I could share it with. And and so getting the pen on the paper was really, really important for me. Now, as I said, first of all, I started telling these truths, like these epic letters, and some of them I sent, and it's like, wow, they're like really serious truths, but, they didn't land. They didn't want to be heard. And that's okay, because that in itself taught me a great practice of standing by my truth and sharing my truth and taking the consequences of the truth. And if people don't want to hear it, then that's their journey. Because what I've also learned further along the way is that It's not about different truths. It's about the ultimate truth of the heart. And like I've said before, you know when it's truth because of the resonance of your heart. And, you know, many people are just not ready to align with that yet. And if you have gone deep enough on your journey and you know that you are aligning with the true core of your heart, you're onto something good. So I encourage you to let that voice of your heart come alive. So when you're putting it into journaling, this can be extremely powerful, and you can start accessing messages from your higher self, the suppression, the empowerment that wants to move through you, and just to let that pour into the page. Now, what I really wanted to talk about as well is, I've got a lot of light shining on me again today, it's beautiful, was I realized that there was two things going on. There was the old life falling away, and then there was simultaneously the new life emerging through the destruction and falling away of the old life. So my journaling process had to also reflect this. So I had a black diary, a black journal, which I called my purging journal, and all of the toxicity from the relationship I put into this. I just purged it and purged it and purged it. All of the toxic truths that were coming out, that was like all of the darkness that was being emerged through my consciousness and through my heart, all of that I was putting into this black purging diary, because I realized I do not want that darkness, that toxicity to intoxify this beautiful new reality that I'm also feeling emerging. Because when your heart is cracked open, you can start to feel the truth of yourself again, and it's beautiful, it's empowering, it's incredible, and all of your wisdom can start flowing back. So you don't want that dirty, dark, disgusting, toxic, abusive, narcissistic crap going into this beautiful new reality you're creating. So I had this black diary, which I call my purging diary, and it all went into there. Whenever I felt this rumination coming up, I put it into there, and it was like this spiritual practice of purging through the body, out of this darkness that was like clenching in my heart and all of my energetics, bringing it out into my hands, through the pen and onto the paper, and then letting that out, closing that book, and putting it in a place where I knew that it would not be intoxifying the new reality, the new life that I was creating. And then simultaneously, I bought myself a beautiful golden diary with blank pages, so that I could draw there, that I could write there, that I could feel the beautifulness of the me that wanted to emerge again. And I brought this into that diary. So there was the words and expressions, and I bought some coloured pens. And so I had this other diary of beautiful, amazing new life creation, bringing in the wisdom of the universe through my body, and letting that channel through my body and come into the diary and come into the journal. So this is what I want to say about the power of rumination, is that there was two things simultaneously happening. There is the purging process, and give yourself the space and the journal for that. And then there is the enlightenment process, the new creation process, the amazing golden life that you are and that you have process, and put that into a separate diary, into a golden diary, or into I've written so many over these last 2.5 years, like about 5, I think, like A4 full-size diaries, journals. And just really treat yourself to something that has a beautiful cover on it. One of mine had a woman with butterfly wings. Another was Klimt's The Kiss. So that diary was really about me embracing the divine union within myself, welcoming my pure masculine energy, welcoming my pure feminine energy, and coming into this space of self-love again. So allow yourself to be inspired by the new you that is simultaneously emerging through this dark and toxic experience, because as you purge, you're simultaneously welcoming the new life. And this is the power journey of rumination, and using rumination rather than perhaps thinking like, oh my god, it just won't stop and it can't, it's like putting it into the page, taking it out of your body and putting it there. And then you will start to see deeper the rumination, what your heart and your brain and your body is trying to tell you. Is there's gifts in there for you about how to let go of your past, some of the truths that you will be witnessing. You can call upon your higher self and your heart, how to deal with that, how it made you feel and everything, and just pour it out of you into the black diary, into the black journal. And then allowing the gifts of gold, the truth again, through the betrayal of your heart, but the truth about how amazing you are, and about how incredible you are, and about how beautiful you are, and about how wonderful it is that you are such an incredible person holding the light of your heart alive. Got some beautiful noise going on there again to help me through this video. Almost come to the end anyway. So this is what I wanted to share about rumination and turning it into a power tool through the power of journaling. So like and subscribe, share this with others. And I really value sharing my own healing journey with you, because like I said, this is what is important. We can get all this knowledge, which is absolutely vital, about the ins and outs of narcissism, but then what do we do with it? What do we do with it and translate it? How to translate it into our everyday lives? And this is why I'm sharing this journey with you. So, lots of love to you. And leave your comments in the comment box below to let me know how you're getting on with your journey and what acts of creation you are bringing in to help you on your journey. And yeah, click on the links below if you feel that you want to connect more and work further with me, and like and subscribe. And I really value your support, because we're doing this together, aren't we? We're changing the world by allowing our hearts to open up and to become the greatest versions of who we are supposed to be. This is what one of the profound lessons of this healing journey brings. So lots of love to you. Have a beautiful day, and we'll see you again soon. Bye for now.